Double check it. All right, yes. Outstanding. Well, we're going to go ahead and start. We do have individuals joining online, so we have an audience there, so you'll see my attention kind of go over there sometimes, and then also back to our in-person audience. So, firstly, you can see that this is the order of events. We're going to do our welcome first, and then I'll do the introductions for each one of our speakers, and then we'll have time for Q&A at that. All right, so first things first, I want to welcome you to our author panel today, proudly sponsored by the student organizations, Women and Men of Color, a heartfelt acknowledgement to them for making this enriching discussion possible. We're thrilled to have a diverse mix of students, faculty, and staff, both here in person and virtually. Your presence is truly valued as we embark on a journey into the world of literature and insights. Whether you're joining us physically or navigating this discussion from afar, your contribution is the heartbeat of our dialogue, and it is enriching us in countless ways. Today promises a deep dive into the thoughts and experiences of our esteemed authors. Feel free to engage. We are here for thoughtful discussion and exploration. Thank you for being a part of this session, and a special invitation to all students. These incredible students host insightful sessions, and everyone is welcome. Mark your calendars for upcoming sessions for these fascinating speakers. Okay. So here we have on February 9th with Carlos Minor of Duke Energy, and that will be the Men and Women in Engineering team. Also, we have on February 23rd, Zumba, led by Charity Martin. Then that's followed by Sarai Melendez. She's a community connector and Wahala Town Council member. April 5th will be with Maria Morales from the Urban League. And last but definitely not least, on April 12th, we'll have Dr. Lanika Mussolini. All right. Now, these gatherings take place from 12:15 to 1:15 in room 313 of the Student Success Center on the Pendleton campus. We also have online capabilities, so you can join in that way as well. And so I hope to see you there. So let's kick off our author panel. So let's go through that. Okay, so first things first, come on in. Come on. We're going to jump right into our first speaker. Our first speaker. It is with great pleasure that I introduce you to today an exceptional individual whose literary prowess and dedication to education have left a mark on all that she has touched. Dr. Leverette is not just an Amazon best-selling author. She is a force of inspiration, uplifting, and informing, and healing through the power of words. With an impressive catalog of 150 published books, Dr. Leverette's commitment to the written word is evident in the vastness of her literary contributions. As a graduate of both Clemson University and South Carolina State University, her academic journey has been a testament to her pursuit to knowledge and excellence. In her distinguished career spanning over 30 years in the field of education, Dr. Leverette has donned various hats. From an English teacher to a school and district administrator, assistant superintendent, lecturer, to university coordinator. Her multifaceted roles to her unwavering dedication to the betterment of education at every level. Beyond her professional accomplishments, Dr. Leverette is a devoted wife, mom, and grandmom, embodying the essence of a balanced life. Her love for consulting, reading, and traveling not only enriches her own experiences, but also reflects a profound appreciation for diverse perspectives and cultures. Today, we are honored to have Dr. Sonia Cunningham Leverette with us as we eagerly anticipate the insights she will share with us. Please join me in extending a warm welcome to this a remarkable author, educator, and individual who continues to impact lives through the art of storytelling and the pursuit of knowledge. Welcome, Dr. Leverette.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
What a blessing and an honor it is to be here. And I wonder who she was reading about when she read that, because that's not the bio I sent in. It sounded way better. So thank you, and I do need a copy of that before. So I was sharing with Kevin, who is a colleague of mine, that it's very difficult to know exactly what to say. It's so much that I want to say, and it's so much that I can share. It's hard to even know where to start. I wish we could start with questions and I could hear from each one of you and know where you are on your journeys, so that I could say something that could help you and inspire you and just push you a little bit further ahead. But I can't continue before I, first of all, truly thank Mia for the opportunity to be here. And it's so wonderful to see Dr. McAdams. Thank you for giving me the opportunity, to my colleague Kevin and to Kayla, and then to my wonderful in-laws who are, you know, with me ride or die. They have accompanied me to so many different places, and I greatly appreciate them. And I wish for each of you an in-law, just if you could just have one like the wonderful ones that I have, you would have a life of happiness. So being here, I've been here many times before, but this is a magnificent, beautiful facility, and I'm just graced and it's a pleasure to be here. So I hope that each one of you are appreciative too for having the opportunity to matriculate through such an institution as this one. So I'm going to share with you very briefly. You've heard who I am. I'm not going to, it's not about me. It's not, you know, any more attention to me. I want to just talk about my story a little bit with the publishing process that I have been engaged with since I retired. It started before I retired. And I'll just say to you that before I started publishing, I didn't know what it was I wanted to do. I started school when I was 5. I started formal education when I was 5, and I retired on paper when I was 46, but at 49 and a half, I actually went home full time, and that's when I started publishing. But up until the time I published, I said, you know, I've been in school all my life. At some point, I have to graduate. I have to get out of school. When I do, what is it that I will do? I had colleagues who loved to golf, others who played, you know, cards. There were so many different hobbies that they had, and they would talk about in the boardroom on Monday mornings. And it was just me, and I love going to church, love spending time with family, but I didn't have that thing that just really motivated me and that was really exciting all the time. But then in the fall of 2015, I published my first short story. And a light bulb went off between 2015 and 2016 and said, this is it. This is what I love doing. And it was something that I had always wanted to do. Didn't know how I would ever get published. But once I did, I said, this is what I want to do for myself. But I also want to do it for other people, because there are many people like me who don't know where to start when it comes to publishing. And I thought about it because it's my beautiful mother-in-law who is here with me today. When I worked for Anderson School District 5, she gave me the nickname Esther. And this is the Esther from the Bible, if you know the story. And I was so honored to have that name. When it came to naming my publishing company, I said, you know what? I'm going with Hadassah, because that was her original name. And I think of it as though Esther got to the castle, but she didn't just, you know, kick her feet up and enjoy herself. She said, there are other people out there. There are my people that I need to help. So it's like I am steadily trying to get more people into the castle that I've made it to, because I published and I want to help people. So whether people just don't want to research to learn how to self-publish or how to get traditionally published, I'm there for them. Some people really want to learn the process, and so I consult and coach and help them do their own thing. But then there are people that I do everything for. So as I said, we started in March of 2016, and my motto is publishing excellence with integrity, because I know that that would make Queen Esther very proud. And some of the accomplishments, we've gotten a couple of awards. We are over 150 books at this point. I know that 12 of those are mine, but then the others are other people. And so we do several different genres, children's, biographies, romance. One thing that we don't do, and everybody in here is an adult, we don't do sex scenes, we don't do profanity and those type things, but we do, romances, especially if there are situations where someone was really struggling with flesh or just really struggling in life, but they found a better way, and their goal is to motivate people, bring them along and help them improve their life. So that's our goal. We have a number of bestsellers on our shelf, and we also have authors who are award-winning authors and have received lots of recognition. So what happens is we receive manuscripts, we read over them, make sure that they are a good fit and there's something that we can manage in-house. We do have contractors that we work with all across the world. We may have an illustrator in Pakistan or a proofreader sometimes in Persia. It just depends on what it is and what their skill set is and what they can bring to the table. But we do a lot of editing before the manuscript, before we even do the proof. We make sure that, everything is the way it should be. But as you know, when you write a paper, you can read it 10 times and you'll still find that there may be issues. And so we have a number of eyes that actually go onto the document before we actually release it. And there's no way we can ever say that it's always perfect, because we read traditionally published things and things just happen. Like, we're human. Anything that is produced by man is subject to human error. But at the end of the day, we do our due diligence to make sure things are as best that we possibly can make them. And we impress that upon our authors as well. And so basically we do a full scale line of publishing from start to finish. So these are some things that you'll find on our website that we offer. We do a publishing course. We make titles available in bookstores, libraries, local stores, and also on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, Target, the major retailers, Walmart included, but then also smaller stores as well. We have a YouTube channel. If you're interested in publishing or maybe even want to contribute something, you can sign up or subscribe. And we're on social media. And as I mentioned before, we do coaching and consulting services as well. So this is the biggest part of my presentation, because I don't want to overstep my time. And I want to, do we doing all questions at the end, or?
Yes,
Okay.
if you have something.
Okay, I may just see what they have for me before I sit down. But these are some of my biggest takeaways from what has happened over the last few years. Too many authors come into this, they finish this journey and they think, oh, wow, my book is going to be on Amazon or it's going to be on Barnes & Noble. It's like, oh, I'm going to go to sleep and get rich. And no, that's not what's going to happen, because nobody's going to know your book is there if you don't do a substantial amount of marketing. So I have to have this talk with authors at the beginning to say, what are you willing to put into this? How many hours a week are you willing to be on social media, to go to schools, to go to wherever you're invited, to let people know that you have a book and that it's out there. So whenever you think about business, know that one of the biggest things of it, you're not always selling. I mean, it's about selling that product. So you have to have really good communication skills, or you have to work with people who can really market and get that product out there, because it's not going to sell on its own. If you think about Amazon and how many billions of products they have, the idea of someone finding your product, unless they've heard your name and heard your title, it's slim. Now, if you are a celebrity already, then, that's not the same thing. But for most of us, like me, it takes a lot of work. Another thing is you must be willing to take a risk. Anytime you especially share your story or any story, is subject to, feedback. You never know when you're going to get a wild card review. Things aren't always pretty. Things aren't always, great and positive, but you have to go back to, why did I do this? Why am I doing this? It comes back to self-talk, encouraging yourself, being around positive people, and being able to just discard the negative. And then having a product or service that satisfies a need people have. I have many authors who come to me and say, you won't believe what I've been through. I have a real story to tell. That's good and fine, but at the end of the day, can it help someone? Will it help someone? Will people see this as something that I really need in order for your book to be successful? Now, people have different reasons for publishing. Some people just want to be able to put author behind their name. Some people just want to be able to check it off and say, I did that. Some people really, really want to make money. Some people want to be a bestseller. So my talking with people in advance to see what their goals are really helps save us some headaches down the road so that we're, really on the same page. And then, as I said before, whatever product or service that you have to have the communication skills to go with that. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be comfortable and happy always in front of and speaking with people. Maybe you have an excellent online marketing profile. Maybe you're able to get 200,000 followers on Instagram. You may have some type of niche that maybe I don't, that can really help you with your product or the service that you're offering. So you have to have something though that is going to get your product or service the attention that it actually needs. And I can say that I'm very grateful that my business has pretty much grown by word of mouth. It's very interesting because last night, my husband and I were on our way to the church that he pastors. And I got a call from a prison in Missouri. And there's an inmate there who heard me on a podcast probably 4 years ago. And he's up for parole. He's getting out in June, but he could tell me almost everything I said in that podcast. And he says, I am not the person I was 20 years ago when I came into this facility. And I have a story I want to tell people that everybody in prison's not bad. Even if we came in with ill hearts or ugly hearts, many of us have been reformed and we just want, the population to give us a second chance. So I'm just saying that you never know who and how you're going to reach and when you're going to reach somebody. But I haven't had to do a whole lot of marketing because I really try to give a really good customer experience to whoever I have the blessed opportunity to work with. And then they go and tell somebody, or somebody's reading a book and they see Hadassah's Crown Publishing in the back and they're like, let me reach out to her and see if she might be interested in taking on my project. So that's been a real blessing. So whenever you get an opportunity, be grateful for it. Always treat people with the utmost respect. And that's going to carry you much further than any type of commercial on TV or commercial in the newspaper, any paid advertisement that you can put out there. So this is important too. I almost left this one off. It was added at the last minute, but everybody is not a match for your services. Not often have I had to do a refund and destroy a contract, but there have been times. This is something that I do because it's something I enjoy and I want to do. And I've decided I'm not going to be terribly stressed. It's stressful enough to try to make sure a book is as perfect as possible and publish it. But when I have someone who is barking orders to me or cursing me out or using profanity, getting in my face and pointing at me, I'm blessed to have the opportunity to say, you know what? Best wishes with finding a publisher because we're no longer a match. I just can't finish this project. And so I give respect, I demand respect as well. And I may spend time with someone telling them about my company, doing a proposal for them, giving them sometimes free information. And if they choose someone else, it's okay because I still have plenty to do with those who do choose me and I'm not a match. I don't choose everybody and everybody doesn't choose me, and it's okay. And I will say on top of that as well, when I meet other authors, when I meet other publishers, for the most part, it's been really refreshing in this field because the competition isn't the way you would think. We all have a different book. None of us have written the exact same book. So it's no reason for me to not want someone else to get attention or the spotlight or to have good sales because the better he does, the better I'm likely to do. And we can promote each other. And that's one of the things that I've learned in publishing, that publishers are and authors too kind of take each other, hold hands, you know, how can I help you? What can, maybe I can learn something from you. None of us know it all, but we're happy to see each other rise. And that's really a great thing. And I don't, you know, try to compete or get people from other publishers. You know, I don't believe in that kind of a practice. I believe that whoever you have, they're for you, and the people that come to me are for me. So the lack of competition in that way is really good. Now, when you talk about books, now that's very, very competitive. When you look at, like I said earlier, all the books on Amazon or Barnes and Noble, it's a very, very competitive field to try to get your book out there. And it's like, what is your niche? What is different about your book that I would buy it for my child over, you know, these other books and so forth. So that's something that you have to think about as well. So these are all of my books. I did help my father publish his biography. It's not here because it's pretty much his book. But at the time I have all of these children's books. This is where it started in 2016 with the children's books. And this is the last one that I just published a couple of months ago. But these two short stories are the ones that I mentioned that were in another author's anthology. That's where it started. So A Thanksgiving Christmas was first, and then Diary of a Husband Finder was the next one. I've done one chapter book, and that's Marching Around the Schumer, and it's supposed to have some books behind it, but that just hasn't quite happened yet. Sometimes it seems like I get so busy helping other people that sometimes my goals get on the back burner. But regardless, I'm having fun doing what I love and enjoy every single day. And I know I've spoken very quickly. I've tried to get a lot out in a little bit of time. I know that my time is running out. I need to hand it over to Mr. Norris. So I won't take questions at this time, but do remember whatever it is you want to ask me, and any way that I can help you, don't hesitate to, you know, let me know before I go. I do want to acknowledge a soror in the back, Dr. Jacqueline Blakely. It's so good to see you, and thank you too for allowing me to be here at Tri-County today.
Thank you, and we'll hear from her again in just a moment. So next, we are honored to have with us today, Mr. Kevin Norris, an author who has a collection of 20 published books with projects currently in progress. A graduate of Claflin University, where he earned his degree in child development, Kevin's commitment to education extends over 2 decades. Mr. Norris, who is an instructor at Livonia, Georgia Pre-K, holds a unique position that goes beyond his literary achievements. His journey in working with children has not only shaped the minds of young learners, but has also broken barriers, demonstrating the importance of diversity in the educational landscape. In his role as educator, Norris not only imparts knowledge, but serves as a powerful role model for his students, showcasing the value of representation and breaking stereotypes. His dedication to education and fostering an inclusive environment is truly commendable. Beyond the classroom, Norris is a dedicated advocate for community well-being. He channels his passion into creating and spearheading various events and programs, showcasing his commitment to making a positive impact on the lives of others. His initiatives, crafted with care, reflect a deep sense of responsibility towards community development. Even in his leisure time, Kevin is immersed in the creative process, always striving towards the next novel that he will undoubtedly use to enrich the literary landscape. As we welcome Mr. Kevin Norris to our talk today, please join us in extending a warm welcome.
Hey, I've never done this before, so So I'm usually, I teach 5-year-olds, 4 or 5-year-olds, so we don't have this right here. We're much talking to them, we're talking like this. But I'm gonna do something what I do for my students. We start off like this, and I need everybody to repeat. I love myself.
I love myself.
I love myself.
I love myself.
I'm smart today.
I'm smart today.
I'm smart every day.
I'm smart every day.
I am
I am
somebody.
somebody.
I am
I am
kind,
kind,
strong,
strong,
helpful.
helpful.
I am
I am
somebody.
somebody.
That's how we start out here. Yeah. Now, I'm a comedian slash, and I was telling Mia, I believe I had ADHD. I'm 48, but we didn't get diagnosed back then with ADHD. But I'm everywhere. First I want to shout out the guys who are here. I want to thank and Mr. Leverette. Thank you. But Miss Mia had contacted me about my books. I was like, well, yeah, that's pretty cool. But if it wasn't for Dr. Sonia, she was the one that really spearheaded even more. Cause she talked to my girlfriend Carla, because we met at a and if I'm getting off, that's fine. I told y'all I'm everywhere. But Dr. Sonia, I had known her for a while, and we met at an event. I think it was in February or whatever. And I knew her, but I didn't know she was doing publishing. So at that time, I was kind of dealing with someone that was publishing, but I didn't want to go to Dr. Sonia. And then, just like she said, she didn't want to steal anyone, and I knew that's how it was. But I talked to her, and my girlfriend Carla at the time, at the time when we talked, we was talking about doing the publishing. And so Dr. Sonia and her talked, and the rest is history. And I have 21 books, not 20, I have 21. But a little bit of information about who I am. Like I said, I'm Kevin Norris. They know me in Livonia as the guy with the bow tie. This one right here, I had to do something different. But ink and resilience. Foundation, motivation, consistency, and vision. That's my whole thing. Our challenges become the foundation for our strength. Embrace the struggles, for they shape the resilience soul within. I'm not gonna click on this segment. This is what I want y'all to know right here. This is my thing. This little cute baby right here is me. It's me. And I was telling Miss Mia that I struggled in school. And this is what I use as my motivation in my speech when I talk to others. I didn't like school growing up, so I became a teacher. I couldn't read, so I became an author. So that's my strength to everyone else, you know. With my struggle with reading, and this is no story, I could always read. When you tell people you can't read, like, oh, you can't read the am, but no, it's not that. It's being able to pick something up and read all the way through without making something that says ag as and or whatever. So I went through elementary school, I went through middle school, I went through high school, I even went through college, and I still wasn't reading like I should have. I didn't start reading very well until my 30s. And I'm gonna tell you what helped me to read. I took it upon myself and I read the entire Bible from beginning to the end. I'm not telling anyone to do it, but that was something that I needed to help me out, because nothing against my mom, but it wasn't forced that I had to read. Now, this fan right here is my uncle. Him and my aunt Peggy, they were the educators. They were the ones where you ever had an aunt or a grandma and you just hated going to their house because you knew you couldn't play anymore. It was dead serious. It was all about focusing and stuff like that. That was my aunt and uncle. It was going there and I was more focused. But when I was at my mom's house, it was, did you do your homework? Yeah, that's it. No time to read or anything like that. But back to what I was saying, and if I go off, just say Kevin, come back. So everybody say Kevin, come back. Kevin, come back. So if I go somewhere, say Kevin, come back. So with the reading, like I told you, I wasn't able to really comprehend, and that kind of made me struggle. And a lot of you are young, but back in the days, teachers used to say, hey, we're gonna go through this line right here. You're gonna read a paragraph, you're gonna read a paragraph, you're gonna read. I would do like this, okay, I'm the fifth paragraph, so I'm gonna pre-read it. So that way my friends are not laughing at me, you know, because back then, if you couldn't read, if you didn't make good grades, and a lot of things have changed now. Now people, it's cool that you can't read, or it's cool that you act up in school now. You know, it's cool that you have bad grades. But back then, you didn't want your friends to see your report card because they would laugh. So, like I said, I would pre-read and make sure when it came to my time, I was ready. So that went on, and then I went through a dark time in my life where I was married. And I was like, well, what am I gonna do? Because it's so easy for people to go into bad habits and all those type things. And I was like, well, instead of doing things that I shouldn't do, I'm gonna start writing. So, hold on, let me make sure
You got to put forward.
okay, yeah. Do I have to use this?
It just.
Okay, it helps, but,
There you go.
okay, so. Yeah, get back focused. I'm telling you, 5-year-olds are my best. I'm telling you, because they're just like me. But what I did, I started taking time to write. And what I always do, and I know Dr. Sonia is different, and every other author is different. I start off with my title. My title comes first, and then I do my chapters. Because my chapters give me an outline of where I want to start and where I want to end before the next chapter. Dr. Sonia said something else. I went into writing or becoming an author wasn't because, like she said, I didn't make any money. And I wanted to do something, one, to eliminate the stereotype that Black men can't read. We don't want to do nothing but play basketball and all that stuff. So I wanted to erase all that stereotype stuff. So, like I said, I wanted to be an author to kind of show myself that, hey, Kevin, you couldn't read, but you could become something now. So, with that, I was like, also, I don't want anything, because when you die, you leave bills. I said, I wanted to leave something that would leave a legacy. So I started writing books. So the first book was called hold on, Cody, let's help me out. Happy Father's Day. And what that book is about, it's a children's book. And what it was, it's about a single parent mom who has 3 children. And she works as a waitress, and then she works as a custodian. And it's told through the smallest child's eye, as far as telling what he sees his mama coming home doing, as far as like coming home tired. But she always makes sure that the schoolwork is done and all that stuff. And someone asked me, like, why you want to name it Happy Father's Day? Because I grew up where my mom was the father. So it was like a dedication to my mom and to our other single parent moms who take on the role of mother and father, you know. Then someone said, well, how about we can't change the men to Happy Mother's Day? Hey, if you want to change it to Happy Mother's Day, then that is also. But my first book, like I said, was Happy Father's Day, and I got it out, and I went to another publishing company, and then my second one was called Product of the Environment. And I'm not gonna go through all 21 books. I'm just gonna give you a little bit. But when I got with these 2 people right here, everything took off. Because Carla, how many books did I have? 6? When I met her, I had 6 books. And I'm telling you, I'm not trying to promote relationships, but when you get with the right person, I'm telling you, things go from here to here. And when I got with her, it took off. And I told her, all I needed was somebody who could keep up with me. Because as you can see, I'm everywhere. And she has to reel me in, you know. But once, because I told her, I said, well, this is what I want to do. And she was like, well, hey, let's do it. And then when we met Dr. Sonia, and she went through the Zoom meetings and all that stuff, and she had questions for and Dr. Sonia, and I'm not just saying this, I really, 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 really appreciate what you did for Carla and myself. I really do. Because you don't know the monster that you created. You really don't. And the children's books that we do, they range from, we have educational workbooks, and everything is dealt with children that we do, whether we teach like 4 or 5-year-olds. We have two education workbooks that we have. We have children's books, teen, I have a cartoon animation, I mean, not cartoon animation, I have a comic book series that's out. We did the first episode, we finished our second one, and we're working on our third. What else? We have color books. I'm telling y'all, I'm everywhere. But let me close the name of your cartoon? The comic book. The comic book is called Power Intellect Squad. And what it is, it's about I used to work with children who had disabilities. And I don't know if y'all remember a long time ago when we had the eclipse. So when the eclipse came, these teenagers got their specific superpowers from the eclipse. So someone who has Tourette's, they have the ability to crack walls and all that stuff. Someone who's blind, they're able to see through things. Someone who's in a wheelchair, she can transform a wheelchair into different mobile things. So everyone has their disability is a superpower. So let's look at this. Oh, let me get to this right. Consistency is not just a virtue, it's the heartbeat of success. Keep showing up for your dreams day in, day out. I truly believe in it. Consistency, that's what I was telling Ms. Mia. Consistency is something that I thrive off of. Once I start something, I have to continue with it. I do. And Carla can tell you, it's plenty of nights I'll take a nap, especially like on Fridays. I take a nap and I wake up 2 o'clock in the morning and I'm typing until 5 o'clock. And then I go lay down and I'm back up again. That's my consistency of doing that. My other thing that I do, I'm everywhere, I told y'all. Besides writing, I have a thing called Red Velvet Cafe. It's a poetry spot. This is one of my poets right here. This is one of my performers right here. I didn't know she came here. But what it is, we started it back in 2008. And what it is, it's a platform for anyone who does poetry, music, singing, and all that. And we do it throughout Anderson. And it's a positive way to get positive things out there. So if anyone plays the guitar, sings, does poetry, just see me before we leave. We have one on February the 3rd, also in Anderson. But Ms. Mia was also saying about the community work that I do. I have a thing that's called, it started off as Miracles. And like I said, I came from a single parent home where my mom was the primary person, but also back then when I was younger, the people in the community were also the people who helped raise you. So I wasn't raised by myself. Like I said, I showed you a picture of my aunt and uncle. My uncle was like my father figure. You know, he was the one how I heard about the Leveretts, him and my aunt and uncle. That's how I found out about Mr. and Mrs. Leverette. But let me go back. Where was I at? Help me, what was I?
No, you're talking about community.
Okay, my community. I'm telling y'all, my mind is crazy. But the community stuff that I do, it deals with single parent children. Like I said, I came from a single parent home where we had a man in our community, his name was Marion Tarrant. They called him Punky. And he would do basketball stuff for guys and all that. And I was a watcher when I was younger. I watched. I didn't talk much, but I watched. And I saw how men in the community back during that time, how they were influential in a positive way. While, they didn't have to be your child, but they knew your situation, they helped. And with my Miracles organization, which stands for my important reason, a community learning environment succeeds. That's what it stands for. And I got the idea from, and stop me if you need to, Ms. Mia, and I'll quit. You can check out this 80s breakdance movie called Breaking Two. They had a place called Miracles where it got children off the street to keep them from gang violence and all that stuff. And that's how I got the idea. But with my Miracles organization, I've taken children to professional basketball games in Atlanta. I've taken them to Charlotte. We've even done camping trips and stuff like that. Because we think as far as, we can just get in our car and leave. Some children can't go outside their neighborhood, and my biggest proud moment was we took some guys to a Charlotte game. And when we got there, it was kind of late. So, the lights and stuff. And the little boy thought we were in New York. And I said, at that moment, this little boy has never been outside of Anderson. The biggest building we had at that time was the hospital. So he's never been out of his community. So I was like, well, I'm going to continue to do this. So we ended up having turned Miracles into Kevin Cares. And Kevin Cares is now just LLC. Miracles was just, just Miracles. But everything that we did, it came out of my pocket, because I can't ask a single parent mom who's struggling to pay her bills if she can give me $50 for her son or her daughter to go somewhere. So if I have to sacrifice because I don't have any children, so if I have to sacrifice my time and my money to bring something positive for these children, then hey, so be it. I had a friend that told me years ago, he said, Kevin, you will never have to worry about young people robbing you because you've helped so many people in our community. And I thought about it and I was like, it has. At a young age, I did have these young guys up on my wing. I was taking them everywhere. Now, you're not responsible for how they are when they get older. Yes, some of them have done crimes and stuff like that. But when they see me, they tuck the shirt in, they put the pants up, and that lets me know they got respect for me. And I've done something that kind of show a positive example for them to straighten themselves up. Yeah, they may smell like marijuana or whatever, but they straighten themselves up, and that's showing that, okay, I had something to do, at least with them straightening up, even if it's at that moment, But back to this right here. Commitment to writing diligently. Like I was telling you, I write every day. I do. I was telling Dr. Sonia, besides the 21 books, I have 3 more that are coming. And I try to get different students involved as far as like illustrating. I have some Hispanic students that are interested. I have all kind of people. So if any of y'all draw, make sure you reach out to me because I believe in resume building, because if on your resume and you're going somewhere and they say, hey, book on here, and then you can actually present this book and say, hey, this is what I did, that speaks volume. And also it gives you something with your name on it as well, But are you consistent with your actions? And that's my question to you as students. When I was in college, I didn't know what I wanted to be. I wanted to play the music at the fair. That's just what I wanted to do when I was growing up. I wanted to be the DJ at the fair for the popular ride where everyone would come and I just wanted to play music. So that was my thing growing up. Your future, please. It's never too late to think about your future. And your future doesn't mean, okay, when I get older. Your future is, to me, once you step out after I leave today, my future. What are my plans for the future? Watch your journey unfold. I've seen so many things go from here to there. Besides the book, I had a movie that I wrote and it was based on my life and it was in a movie theater. An actual movie theater. And I was like, wow, and we have it on YouTube as well. And I'm working on 2 more movies. And my movies are going to catch up to my books. So, but that's why I said consistency, dedication. You can be, if I can do this, you can do this also. I'm telling you. And you see where my mind is. Books, community service, movies. I told you that I just talked about that. What should you write down today to work towards your future goal? I write all the time. I have a 2023 list that I had and I got rid of. Now I got a 2024. I have things that I said I'm going to do. And it's so many things that I've accomplished already in 2024 and it's still January. 30 books is what I'm going to have by the end of this year. I'm at 25. Once I get these 3, I'm at 24, 25, 24, and I'm working on others. So I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna have 100 books. I'm gonna be the Tupac of books. I am. I'm gonna have so many books. I'm telling you. And foundation, motivation, consistency, vision. Vision what you want to do, where you want to be. It's not silly. It's not. I had to overcome situations, whether it's relationship wise, childhood wise. It's a lot of things that I had to overcome, but I wasn't going to allow it to stop me. And don't let whatever you're going through stop you either. Like I said, if a 48-year-old guy who still has the energy of a 5-year-old can still be the way who he is, you can also. But I don't know if this is, your education is the foundation. Education, education, education. We did a summer reading, we did a summer program to help transition 4-year-olds to 4 and 5-year-olds to kindergarten, and it was a success in the city of Livonia. And we're going to do a reading comprehension program also, because I have to give back to the students who are struggling like I did. Motivation fuels our aspirations, it does. And consistency shapes your path. Visiting propels you towards your future. How will you paint your own masterpiece? That's my homework to you. Whatever you have now that you want to do, step out. I think Dr. Sonia said that, step out. They say step out on faith. Step out on faith and say, hey, I'm going to do this. It may take me a long time. Like I said, I wish I could have done this in my 30s, but I'm 48, but it's never too late. As long as I have breath in my body, it's never too late. The call to action is yours. It doesn't matter if you got negative friends, negative family members. You do you. Like this girl told me, you do you, boo. You do you. You do you. Don't worry about naysayers or anyone. You do you. Embrace these pillars and forge ahead into the extraordinary. Please do. And this is a handsome boy, even though they kind of like make me look artsy, but like Dr. Sonia said, if you have any questions, I know I was everywhere, and I know Miss Media, I hope you don't get mad at me because I told you from the beginning, I have to be like the children who I teach. I have to be everywhere. But thank you all for allowing me to be here. And if you have any questions like Dr. Sonia said,
What's the name of your movie?
Oh, the name of my movie is The Message.
The Message.
The Message, yes, ma'am. And I'll give you a card. I didn't bring too many, but I'll give you a card, and it's on YouTube and you can look it up. But it's about my life growing up. And like I said, I got 2 more movies that I'll be doing also. But can I get a?
All right, if we can have both authors to come forward and just have a seat so we can ask questions and continue our conversation. And so at this time, online and in person, if you have questions, we'll give you a moment so you can think, and then we'll start asking and getting those answered. And it's a perfect amount of time. It's outstanding the way things work out. All right, and I'm gonna get, you'll be first. Are you seeing anything online? Yeah, okay, perfect. So we'll go around.
My question is for Dr. Sonia. I know you children's books for your own children, the inspiration for those books.
Yes, it's funny that you would ask, but BJ's big dream, BJ is my son,
Yes.
and he started with a dream that he had probably around age 5. And he didn't get his dream, it didn't come true until about 9th grade. And there were many times I said, goodness, when is he gonna let go? Like, just give up, you know? And the book is not a hair book, so to speak, but it's trying to teach children the dream recipe. And I may share that with you in just a minute, but to be very quick about it, my son wanted long hair. He wanted locks, and he would get his hair, it would start, but then he would end up getting it cut off because he played sports and it just didn't work out. And he tried again and again and again and again. And I'm like, when is he going to just give up on this dream? It's not working. But he never let it go. And so I learned from him that if there's anything that you want, you just have to hold on to that desire. You have to have the faith that it's going to happen, and you have to have the patience. And that can work for basically anything. So that was BJ's big dream and why. So the other stories were basically things that happened to me that I actually experienced that I decided to tell through other children. Thank you. Mm-hmm.
All right, so any question? We want to make sure your voice is heard. A lot of students, as you get to know me or know me, this is your safe space. So feel comfortable hearing your voice out loud in these spaces. It is okay. Everybody in here is supportive of you and you'll be supportive of them. Yes. Online question?
And online question, Dr. Walker asked, what is the estimated time it takes to publish a book from start to finish?
Do you wanna?
All right. That's what it's called.
And I hate to do one of those answers where it's like, it depends. Dr. Walker, thank you for your question. It depends on the shape of the manuscript when it comes in. It depends on whether it's a children's book and it's just the words and it needs illustrations. It depends on a lot, but if the book is in really good shape and needs proofreading only as opposed to a rewrite or extensive editing, it could be done in a month. Mhm. Great question, thank you.
All right. Additional question. Well, what if, and be thinking of questions. How did you find out about today's event? Feel free to put that in the chat as well. What you find out about today's event. And then let's get it from our in-person. How did you find out about today's event? All right, right here. What's your name and how did you find out?
Carson Payne, I found out through the campus events.
Outstanding. So was that by email or on the app?
The app.
The app. I know she loves the app. She's like, yeah, the app. All right. Say your name and then how you found out about today's event.
So I think this
Who did? Who told you about it?
it?
Okay, perfect. Again. Yes, it's like, yes, that's. All right. So how did you find out about today's? And what's your name? Let me start with that. What's your name?
I'm Jennifer and I can write your name.
Email. So from this email? Okay, perfect. Yes, ma'am. How did you find out about today's?
My college skills classes in management project.
That's right.
So I've always been really
Yes. Is anybody else in college skills right now? Yes, this counts. If you're in college skills, use this as one of your engagements and come back. Yes. Because I know you guys, you have 4. Yes.
My name is Sonia. I don't know here, but I found out by the city.
Oh, wow, look at that. You're over at school. Yes, outstanding. All right, yes.
Well, she came up to me, while I was working on
Yes.
homework. And so I just popped it.
And say your name out.
I'll follow them.
Okay, thank you. Yes, ma'am. How did you find? Oh, did you say college skills? Is that how you found out?
Yes.
And what's your name?
My name is Emily. I found out through my college skills teacher and I've actually loved writing and.
Oh,
to
yeah.
go
It's a
into
twofer.
publishing. So,
Yes, ma'am. How did you find it?
My name is Jordan and I found out through campus events emails.
Outstanding. Okay. And
My name is Kiana.
you
and I
tell us who you are?
I'm actually in the colors, but I see it in the email too.
And
My name is Zerny and I found out through the events.
you are also?
I'm also part of it.
Yes. With this a safe space, please come back. Outstanding. Go ahead, yes.
Okay, so was there any times that y'all failed or felt like that y'all was failing and then had to, what was some things that you had to like, I guess like
Overcome.
a counter to like regroup? If there was, if I worded that question.
You heard me, I think you did.
No, I let you go, ladies first. As far as things that I had to overcome, like I was saying earlier, I had to overcome first that I could do it. You know, that was the first thing. And putting out a book it's not as easy as I thought it was gonna be. you know, and the book publishing company that I went through at that time for my first book, they were like far away. And I paid buku money as far as the publishing. I had to pay for someone to do the illustrations for me. It was a lot of stuff. So when you spend out so much money and you know you're not gonna get much back, it's like, you know, what is the need? You know, so that was kind of like my, do I really want to do this in the beginning? But then 20 books later, you know, I haven't stopped. But yeah, that was my first thing. I was like, is it really worth it? But I used to like writing in English class also. So that was kind of my motivation. So,
And I'll say my biggest challenges, I guess, have come with controversial material. And so my first story was indirectly about a life event that happened to me. And so there was a lot of soul searching, you know, how will I tell this story? Should I really tell the story? The motivation was truly to help someone. But there were other family members that, you know, could be impacted. So I really had to think through that. And I knew before it was published that there was going to be some turmoil, there was going to be some backlash, but I prayed about it and got a peace. So I moved forward with it. And I have not had any regrets about it. The backlash, the turmoil, all of that did happen. But I have to say to authors often that when they're publishing something, and especially if it's of faith, for those of you who are of faith, there's going to be an attack. And you have to be ready for it. It's either as you're writing, when you get ready to publish, or after you publish. But there's usually some type of holdup in some kind of way, because I'll have people call, I'm so nervous. It's like, ooh, it's getting ready to come out. It happens to basically all of us. So that's just something for you all to know, that you have to be strong, you have to be resilient, and you have to push through, because, you know, that's just something that's going to. That's a great question. Thank you for asking.
can I add something?
Yes, that's it.
My thing also was when I first got my first check from Amazon, and it was like like $6 or something. And I knew for a fact, like I said earlier, I was everywhere, but now I'm a little bit more focused because I'm sitting down. But I didn't do it to become a millionaire or anything like that. You know, it was the desire. And like I said earlier, I love writing in English class. You know, when we had journals and stuff, that was my favorite opportunity to get whatever I was going through at home or throughout that day. That was my way of getting it out there. But yeah, when I got that check, you know, from Amazon and just getting other checks, it's like, do you really want to do it? But then you have to say, you know what, my story or whatever I'm doing is going to impact somebody. And to go back off what you said earlier, and it hit a point to me when you was talking about marketing. That's one of the things that I have to work on doing, because I don't market myself. I just write and I say, but my other thing was, I want to build a catalog to where, you know, it's kind of like you see a movie star and you're like, man, he's good. And then you find out he's had 30 movies that he's been in, but you love this specific movie, but you look at his catalog or her catalog and you're like, oh man, that's what I wanted to be. You know, you're late to get to the party, but when you get to the party and you find out, oh, this guy he got a lot of stuff that he's done. Then like, oh, let me go back and check and see what all Kevin has done. So that was my thing, you know, so.
All right. Well, first things first, I'm going to be closing in just a minute, but I would like you to just hold, because I'd like to get a group shot from Mrs. Lisa Garrett over here. She'll get a group shot and we'll kind of, everybody, I know people are in different places, but come together so we can do that. But I do want to share the information with you here again. So as our author panel draws to a close, I want to express my sincere gratitude to each one of you. This incredible audience in person and online, our esteemed authors, our sponsors, the men and women of color. Your engagement and enthusiasm have made this session truly special. The exchange of ideas, the in-depth conversation, and collective exploration into the world of literature and insights has been inspiring. Your presence, whether again in person or online, connecting from a distance, has added immeasurable value to our community. As we wrap up today's session, I encourage you to carry the spirit of these discussions forward, stay engaged, keep exploring, and mark your calendars for upcoming sessions hosted by this group, each promising a unique insights and opportunities for connection. Now, special reminders again, mark your calendars, February 9th with Carlos Minor and Duke Energy, Men and Women in Engineering. February 23rd for Zumba, led by Charity Martin. March 8th with Sarah E. Melendez, Community Connector for Walhalla Town Council. April 5th with Maria Morales from the Urban League, and April 12th with Dr. Lanika Mussolini. So again, thank you for being a part of this enriching experience. Until we meet again, stay curious and keep the conversations alive. Have a wonderful day. And again, I'd love to get a picture of everyone. All right, thank you so much. So if you could come in and fill at the tables, that'd be outstanding.
Thank you all again for
Yes,
attending.
yes. And then we can get.
Greatly appreciate you all.
Yes.